Believe it or not, the shadowy world of cartels isn't just a relic of the past. Today, they're not only surviving but thriving, orchestrating a web of illicit activities that span the globe. In this video, we're delving deep into the underworld to reveal the top 10 most powerful cartels that continue to operate. Known for their audacious deeds and extravagant lifestyles, these organizations have carved out a notorious reputation. So buckle up as we count down to the most infamous cartel of them all. You won't believe who's claimed the number 1 spot. Number 10. Oficina de Envigado. We all know who Pablo Escobar is, right? Yes, the guy Netflix literally made a whole show about. He had one of the greatest narcotics networks anyone has possibly managed to make. Escobar's Medellin cartel was a billion-dollar narco business at its very prime. Oficina de Envigado was Escobar's debt collection and enforcement wing for his cartel. To date, they still operate in the cities of Envigado and Medellin in Colombia. At one point in time, this cartel stood among the deadliest of its kind, but now it's a service provider for other smaller cartels for their drug trafficking and illicit activities. Number 9. Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This cartel has been brought into existence fairly recently and gained cult-like popularity among the Mexican mafia for its cruel measures and viral videos where they literally take the lives of their rival cartel members while videotaping the whole thing. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel has become somewhat of a symbol of fear among the people of Mexico due to insane tactics and the lengths they'll go to. Founded in 2009, the CJNG stands as one of the most notorious thieves of crude oil, targeting pipelines across the country, while also engaging in criminal activities of a very extreme nature. The group is defined as an extremely dangerous one, due to the military training that was once part of its origin. The CJNG were formed when the Milenio Cartel split and was taken over by none other than the elusive Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, or El Mencho. It became one of the most feared cartels in the country. To this day, El Mencho has a $10 million bounty on his head. Number 8. Comando Vermelho, or the Red Commando, is a Brazilian criminal organization that has troubled the country's government since its creation in the year 1979. It was formed as a result of a prison alliance between everyday common criminals and leftist guerrillas, who were imprisoned together at the maximum security prison on the island of Ilha Grande called Candido Mendes. Although the cartel began in Rio de Janeiro, its reach extends far and wide. Even in the countries of Peru and Bolivia, Comando Vermelho is a feared name. In 2010, it went to war with the Brazilian army. Number 7. Cartel of the Suns. Even now, Venezuela grapples with the enduring aftermath of the Cartel of the Suns, which emerged in the mid-1990s and continues to haunt the nation and its neighbors. This cartel's inception occurred as the Venezuelan military turned a blind eye to an expansive narcotics trade network thriving within the country. Ironically, the name Cartel of the Suns was inspired by the sun-shaped medals worn by numerous Venezuelan army officials. At its peak, unsettling claims circulated that the president and chief of the army staff of Venezuela were directly involved in the flourishing illicit businesses and criminal activities of the cartel. Number 6. Primeiro Comando da Capital. One of the most active cartels in Brazil today is the Primeiro Comando da Capital, and you would not believe what brought this group of criminals together. Football. Yes, you heard that right. Football was the reason this cartel was formed. The inmates had been transferred from the city of Sao Paulo to the Piranhão as punishment for bad behavior. A football match was arranged for the inmates, and they decided to name their team the Capital Command. This would be the name which would stick. During the game, the life of the deputy director of the prison was taken and a new cartel was born. Being one of the largest cartels in Brazilian history, there are 20,000 members of Primeiro Comando da Capital, 6,000 of whom are locked up in prison. Even after several arrests, it's a thriving cartel that's directly involved in taking the lives of many people, along with its questionable practices and narcotics trafficking. Although it was formed in the city of Sao Paulo, Primeiro Comando de Capital spread into 22 other countries apart from Brazil. It has deep roots in Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador, Paraguay, Bolivia, Chile, and even the United States. Number 5. The Tijuana Cartel. This cartel became one of the most fearsome in the history of Mexico, but it had quite the humble beginning. The history of the Tijuana Cartel can be traced back to the arrest of Miguel Felix Angel Gallardo, also known as El Padrino of the Guadalajara Cartel. Notably depicted in the popular Netflix series Narcos Mexico, after the fall of El Padrino, his nephews, the Felix brothers, started a cartel of their own. The Tijuana Cartel that's operational even now with its headquarters being in Baja California. Although many members of the Felix family are deceased, it is still carrying out its suspicious trafficking of narcotics, and members continue to terrorize the locals of several different areas in the south of the United States. Number 4. The Juárez Cartel. Another cartel known for its extreme brutality is the Juárez Cartel, which was founded in the 1970s and is still very much alive today. Despite the arrest and removal from power of its initial leader, Pablo Acosta Villarreal, the cartel found a way to operate. They too, like their neighbors the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, are known all across the country for their cruel tactics and extreme behavior. This cartel is based in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, and all across the Mexico-US border, from El Paso, Texas onwards. In recent years, it's ruled over by Juan Pablo Ledesma, the current leader under whose regime the cartel has reached new levels of questionable practices, several instances of endangering public lives, as well as the narco trade all across the US and Mexico. Number 3. Los Zetas has wreaked havoc in the country of Mexico since its creation in the year 1997. It has a unique history with its name. Los Zetas was named after its first commander, Arturo Guzman de Sena. This man de Sena's federal judicial police radio code was Z1, hence the name Zetas. What started out as a military effort to control the uprising of several drug cartels turned into one of the most lethal cartels itself. Los Zetas and its illicit drug pushing, putting an end to the lives of approximately 1 million people and several other organized criminal activities, is what makes them one of the most destructive cartels in the history of Mexico. Although it is relatively new, it's come face-to-face in rivalry with many of the strongest cartels in Mexico. Number 2. The Gulf Cartel, or Cartel del Golfo. It is the oldest narcotics trafficking organization in the country. It is currently based in Matamoros, Tamaulipas, directly across the US border from Brownsville, Texas. Initially founded in 1930 by Juan Nepomuceno Guerra, the cartel operates, making it one of the pioneers of narcotics supplier. The Gulf Cartel did not start as a cartel initially. It was an organization that would transport vats full of alcohol into the US during the Prohibition in the 1930s. The success of the Gulf Cartel is its connections with the community. The cartel hires full families of people, and the units remain close-knit and loyal with very little rebellion. The Gulf Cartel became one of the most widespread organizations in the world, with not only North and South America under its reach, but also Asia and Africa. Number 1. The Sinaloa Cartel. Perhaps the best and most successful of all cartels can be that of the Sinaloa Cartel, originating in the city of Sinaloa. Over the years, the Sinaloa Cartel has become a brand name of its own, with crippling fear associated with its name. Under the leadership of Joaquin Guzman, or El Chapo, the Sinaloa Cartel grew and flourished into something the world was not prepared for. Although it started out small, El Chapo brought the Sinaloa Cartel to a high-ranking position where the cartel was dealing billions at a time. After El Chapo's extradition in the year 2017, there was hope that the cartel would fall and crumble within itself. But that was not the case. Today, the cartel's governed by Ismael Zambada, or El Mayo, who has avoided capture for decades due to his low profile. So these were the cartels that are still active to date. Tell us in the comments if we've missed any, and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling content ahead.